I got banned for saying, I said something like it would be at the time. Okay, what's the
Don't get
guy's
us
name?
banned on YouTube now.
Yeah,
This will
no,
be a
that
Patreon only episode.
no, no, no. Well, it was a threat. They took this as a threat.
Oh,
It's
they
not
took it
that
as a threat. Okay.
a threat to Judd Apatow. That I said that Kumail Nanjiani, you know
Yeah,
him,
yeah, yeah.
and you know how he got all buffed up there for a while. He
Hmm.
like completely he
He
turned
got the
into a body.
marble. Yeah.
And he said something that I didn't like, and I said it would be a shame if after doing all that work on his health, Kumail Nanjiani was just to choke to death on Judd Apatow's. That's what I got the kids for. They're supposed to fix everything like this.
I knew immediately as soon as I saw a kid in the frame, I was like, "Oh no, you're asking your your
Yeah,
children for the tech advice."
don't leave me. Don't you leave me here. She's like, yeah, you got it
Yeah.
now.
So, for people
Mhm.
listening, Jenny is a Toronto stand-up comedian. We used to do shows all the time at Puff Mama's Underground, and
Yeah,
I always appreciated your very dark sense of humor. And then when I found out that you were funeral director,
that's true.
did that? So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like you would have to. That would definitely produce a darker sense of humor
Yeah,
for sure.
yes, yes. All the funeral directors have the gallows humor. Um, that's yeah, that's probably my favorite part of the job. Is just saying horrible things quietly with the other ones. But yeah, it's yeah, funeral director, mortician, all that. It's all kind of the same thing. But yeah, I haven't done it in a couple of years. I kind of got out of it, but I did that for a long time. Hey, 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 shush, go. Sorry about that.
It's like these kids don't
They're
know
not
that
here
there's
when I want them to be, but
yeah.
then they come back. They
They come in the middle of the
don't.
podcast.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, but
But what drew you to like start doing stand-up comedy? Because I always love talking to comedians about that like first time on stage and like that moment that pushed you to actually get up there and do it. Because so many people want to do it, but then they're scared of, talking in front of people or they're scared of just the whole idea of performing in general.
yeah, yeah, and I was scared of that. I don't love that, maybe but I got over it. But yes, I was scared of that. I never thought that I would be doing stand-up comedy. I always thought it was like a bucket list thing that I wanted to try once. If I could go up and do 5 minutes at an open mic, and then I never thought that I would go back again and do it again. That was just not part of the plan. It was something I was going, and it went a lot better than it expected. And people started asking me to do shows. And yeah, that was a very cool time in my life because I wasn't expecting it. Like I said, it was supposed to be a one-off, and yeah, it went really good. And then yeah, I did somebody entered me in a contest at the underground, which I miss the underground so much.
Such a fun place to hang out.
Yeah, COVID killed it. I mean, that was the best. And I would do a lot more comedy if the underground was still around. There's no other place like that where you could just go and hang out and.
Yeah, I would just hang out there all the time, like just because I knew that it was a safe space where you could smoke pot and listen to comedy and the like the type of comedians that would come through there would just blow your mind. Like you're at any given night, like
Oh yeah.
one night I'm just like sitting beside fucking Brian Redband sharing a joint, while who was on stage? Well, like when they came down, what's his name? Sam Tripoli. Sam Tripoli's on stage. So you're just like,
Oh,
this is fucking nuts. Like
yeah,
you don't
yeah,
see
they
this
would.
shit really happening anywhere else.
Yeah. Joe Rogan was there
Yeah.
and stuff, right? And I don't know. Yeah, they had really good, yes, actual celebrities would show up there, and it looked like a garage. Everybody was stoned. It was yeah, that was the best venue. So yeah, then I kind of fell in love with the underground, so I was just hanging around there a lot. But yeah, I have to do public speaking as a funeral director anyways.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it's not just public speaking, but I'm also, I never thought of myself as like I'm not a theater kid or anything like that. I'm
Mm,
not really. I still, I like to go up and I like to do my set, but I'm not. I don't know, but I still, I'm not. I don't really. People ask me to do sketches and roasts and that kind of thing, and I don't know. That's not really for me. Yeah, like I said, because I started. I guess 30. I guess I was 35 when I started. Now I wish that I started when I was 20, of course, but
mm.
I wasn't trying to become, I wasn't trying to become famous or anything, certainly at that point in my life. So, but yeah, it's been great. It's been great. Yeah.
So,
And then I made,
are you still doing stand up?
I'm still doing stand up. I just came back from Niagara Falls.
Amazing.
I'm with Yuck. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. I
So
wasn't sure when you said that you like weren't, I guess you're saying that you're not pursuing anything other than stand up in the sense of people asking you to do a roast or be in this sketch. You're like, I just
yeah,
want to get on stage when I want to get on stage. Like,
I
yeah.
just want to do my set, do my thing. I don't want to, I'm not an actor. I don't want to do sketches or
Yeah.
improv or anything like that. That's all. But
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
no,
your
I'm still doing.
Facebook page is probably a full-time job in and of itself because like you show up in my feed constantly. I was like,
That's what people ask me what kind of comedy I do. I'm like Facebook
Facebook,
mostly.
yeah, mostly Facebook.
I am prolific on Facebook, and I do enjoy the memes. And it does take up way too much time. You're right. It's a full time.
You need to like sit down on like a day off and then just schedule posts for 2 weeks or something. But I guess they wouldn't be as timely. I think the thing that makes your Facebook posts so great is that they're like a majority of them are like timely. Like it's something that just happened and there's already a meme out
Yeah,
about it.
I
Like,
am. I'm
yeah.
in the news. Yeah, I get the first one because I'm always on it. I'm scouring, I'm cropping,
I
and
mean,
then I get it.
the tunnels that were just unveiled in New York City, there's gonna be a bajillion memes coming out of that one.
I have so many, but I'm scared to post.
What an insane story. Because two months ago or 2 weeks ago or something, there was New York City residents who were like posting on Twitter, like, I live on the ground floor of the apartment building. We have no basement. There is no basement, but I swear, guys, I can hear people speaking Yiddish below me. And I can hear them digging, and I'm not crazy. And then fast forward like 2 weeks and they're like, I told you. Like they went back and retweeted their tweet of being like, I'm not fucking lying. Like I told you I could hear this.
Yeah, I don't. I that blows my mind, and it's like a riot. My favorite, though, the best part of the whole thing is there's one the New York cop, and say what you will about those guys, but the one I really like, where he's like talking to them. He's like he's standing by the tunnel, by the hole in the wall, kind of guarding it, and he's telling them, and he's like, yeah, no, you can't do that. He was like, we don't do that in America, and then he said to them, you know. I'm pretty sure they're all Americans, but
Yeah,
he's just
yeah,
like,
yeah. That's such a
you guys
fucking
are
like
really weird. I don't
that's such a
care.
like
Yeah.
an American cop thing to like way to think about something though.
We don't do that here.
The same thing happened when like I don't know if you saw that video from New York as well where they were like uh Israelis were posting like the kidnapped like people outside and a Palestinian protester like came over and he tried to like rip one of them down and these like three huge Guido dudes are like, hey buddy, he's got the First Amendment, okay? He's like, if he wants to put up those posters, he's allowed to put up those posters. That's America. That's
I like
he
those
goes,
guys.
this isn't
I
fucking
like those guys.
Palestine. Crazy. Like it's a crazy energy. You're just like, yeah.
What the conflict? They're like, you can't just take his poster like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like bullying the opposite way. Like what the fuck? Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
no,
certainly that whole thing has warped people's brains when it comes to what's allowed, what's not allowed. But I feel like a lot
Mhm.
of the gender stuff too, like warring and fighting over that has kind of gotten pretty quiet recently. Like
That,
I'm seeing a lot
yeah,
less of that.
that's one of the third rails. I don't know if I noticed that I've seen less of it. Maybe it's chilled out a little bit. It's still going on, right? Like there's
Sure, yeah.
still, I don't know, there's people in Ireland getting arrested for not calling people they and
Oh my
stuff like
God,
that.
yeah.
That stuff's all going on. But yeah, that's the third rail that nobody can talk about. I guess I don't know. I guess when Elon bought Twitter, that kind of went away a bit. Maybe I don't know.
Twitter
But
was great when Elon bought it for like 2 months, and now it is just people being murdered and pornography. It's just murder and pornography. I'm like, what the fuck is happening on this app? And it's not even like because when I scroll under my For You or whatever it is, it's like sports highlights and maybe local news and stuff that I like follow. But then when I go to the explore stuff, like the just what people are posting, what some of the top posts are, it's unreal what's allowed on that platform. Like it's
okay,
literally anything.
I haven't seen that. See, I'm still banned from using it. I'm still Elon didn't unban me. I thought Elon was going to
Oh
unban me,
no. Yeah, just
but
go through and unblock the list.
after Trump and Alex Jones or whatever, he hasn't gotten to me yet. So I'm still banned
That
from
should be
using
in
it.
all your social media bios.
Yeah, exactly.
Unbanned after Trump and
Yeah,
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones out first. I'm like a wild animal, obviously, but no, I guess I don't know. I guess you get permanently banned. But I can still read it, but not all the time. He has, yeah, I don't know. I think that he mostly did what he said he was going to do. He hasn't been perfect. I would have preferred that he unbanned me, for example. I would have preferred that he did that.
Yeah,
That's
just
what
a
I thought. That
mass
we would
unban. That would have really set a statement. He came back and he unbanned every single person.
yeah, start
Yeah.
again, right? I got banned for saying, I said something like it would be at the time, okay, what's the
Don't get
guy's
us
name?
banned on YouTube now.
Yeah,
This
no,
will be a Patreon only episode.
no. Well, it was a threat. They took this as a threat.
Oh,
It's
they
not
took it
that
as a threat. Okay.
a threat to Judd Apatow. That I said that Kumail Nanjiani, you know
Yeah,
him,
yeah, yeah.
and you know how he got all buffed up there for a while. He
Hmm.
completely he
He
turned
got the
into a
marble.
body.
Yeah.
And he said something that I didn't like, and I said it would be a shame if after doing all that work on his health, Kumail Nanjiani was just to choke to death on Judd Apatow's dick. That's what I said. It got
That
me
would be a
permanently.
shame.
I said it would be a shame. I didn't say that I wanted it to happen or
Yeah, yeah,
I had
yeah.
to make it happen.
Yeah, yeah. How
Know,
do you make that happen? How is that like a threat at all?
together. I got to kidnap them both.
And just
Got to leave one in
force
the
his
car
head on his cock.
or get the other.
And you'd have
No,
to get Judd Apatow hard first, and then you'd have to
exactly.
force him.
Like I don't know why they think that I can do all that, or but they're just like,
Uh,
you threaten people. I was like, well, I still think that's bullshit.
there's a good premise for a joke there. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to do it.
How
Made
many
me a
times have
joke.
you been banned off Facebook?
Oh, so many. I've lost my whole account. This is my third whole account. Like they took it away forever. The first one that they took away forever, I'll still get very emotional talking about it because I'd had it for, I don't know, 50,
Oh,
20 years.
it has your memories on it.
Exactly. I lost all my
Yeah,
pictures of
that's
the kids.
fucked.
I lost all
Fuck.
my pictures of my childhood, of my kids. I had everything on that Facebook. It was never going anywhere. If there was a picture I wanted to keep, I would put it in one of my Facebook albums. They took that all away. And I tried everything. You can't, there's not a number you can call,
Should
there's
at the
no,
like it should be like getting fired from a job. They should pack
Mhm.
all your shit into a little box, hand it to you, and escort you out the door. I'd be fine with that, you know. Kick me off, but give
Yeah,
me all. Let me like, extract all my shit first. Like I have some right to the photos and videos I've uploaded to your platform.
Yeah, it's really traumatic to lose all that shit. But it never
Yeah.
occurred to me that I was permanently banned, that that was a thing. I
Uh,
was like, well, I'll get all the 30-day bans forever. But
so what was that?
um,
Was that first one trivial or was it like a good joke at least?
well, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a culmination. For a while,
Ah, okay.
I Facebook, I wasn't one particular joke, but I actually think Facebook's gotten better. It'll give me a warning, or it'll say that I can't, post in groups, or it'll give me, it won't
Yeah.
give away my whole Facebook as much anymore. Um, I think it was the year 2021 where I was banned like 7 or 8 months of that year. I was just doing, yeah, there was a 3 month ban at one point. I was definitely
Scrolling on Tumblr.
right in the middle of the pandemic, right? It was the only way to, communicate with
Yeah.
other humans. Really, was Facebook. I
Fucking
think it all
cruel.
the best. I've posted a couple suicide jokes,
Okay.
on like that, and so I'm not, but they think I'm suicidal. And so they're like, here, you should call this number. But then they take away your Facebook and even your
Which
messenger.
would make you suicidal.
Really. So you can't even communicate with any of your loved ones or
Oh my
anything. So
God.
I'm like, why is Facebook trying to make me kill myself? Why is
Yeah,
it?
that's gonna be a lawsuit one day from some family. They're gonna be like, well, Facebook killed our daughter or killed
Yeah,
my son
exactly.
because they removed his account, which gave him no
Yeah.
access to anyone.
Why aren't you being nicer?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're all worried about suicide, why aren't you trying to call me? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So that was bad. Yeah, it was just a million, and it's often things that, sometimes I post things and I think I'm gonna get in trouble, but it's usually the things that I least expect. Like I've gotten banned for, or they'll say ban me for something that's like, 6 months old or something like that, you know,
crazy. It's got to
where
be a
for a
statute of
while
limitations.
you think there should be, because I'm only trying to have a good time. That's all I'm trying to do, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
And it doesn't
but yeah,
mean anything. It only serves the purpose of like your friends and family seeing that they laugh, they don't laugh, they scroll past it, whatever. It's not like
yeah,
it's being fed out to the masses and there's going to
I
be a
know.
rally the next day because of this Facebook post. Like the reaction to me is so extreme for no reason. It's like it's very weird.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. We're living in strange times. It does feel like there's a lot of rules
Like
with it.
it's the Facebook that blows my mind because it seems so private. It feels like a private like
Yeah, as
social
opposed
media app.
to,
Twitter,
every.
it goes to everyone, right?
Yeah, it's like, so what do you care if I offend my uncle with a meme?
Yeah,
Like, why
exactly. How do you
don't you
not
get
know
out of
that's not our sense of humor?
why don't you get out of me and my family's business and let us sort it out? But yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, but I think that they are getting better. Like I said, they're punishing me and stupid. They're just like taking away features that I don't use. Like, I can't advertise.
You're not allowed to poke anyone anymore.
I don't take my coat. Don't take my coat.
Hey, guess what? No more Farmville.
Yeah,
You're banned.
like, that's all I have. But
Fuck.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's usually just me. I don't get banned so much on Facebook, but since I had to like start my account again,
Hmm.
I got a lot of new friends. I got a lot of people that I don't know on Facebook. A lot of them,
Mm.
and people getting really upset at me out of nowhere all the time. Just like, you can't say that. You can say this instead, but you can't use that word. And if you, there was, I made a post a few weeks ago where I said sativa is gay.
That's it.
Super offended gay guy came in and he was like, "You can't say gay in a negative way.
You're like, all
You
right,
can
Hillary
say
Duff.
all this sort of thing." And I was like, "Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your point of view, but no, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna say stuff." And he goes, "Oh yeah, well then you can say hello to Trump for me because he just called and your Confederate flag is ready at the dry cleaner and stuff." I was like, "Holy shit!" like, like
Huh.
he just yeah, that's where he
It
took it. That's
yeah,
where he
it's
took
like
it.
an illness.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Like if I don't cower when he tells me I'm not allowed to call things gay, then
yeah.
I must be evil. I don't know. But
Yeah,
I have those a lot where
it's
somebody
like
just
they're operating like Facebook in that way, where they jump to the furthest extreme. But like
yeah.
they're both actually the same. So I think Facebook reacts so quickly and so harshly because they're worried what their advertisers are going to think if they have that type of content on the platform. And
Yeah.
people comment on those things saying you're not allowed to do that because they're worried about what other people are going to think if they just like it and move on. Well, I'm evil
Right.
by association then if I think this is
Yeah.
funny. It's like, would you fucking get a life? Like, can we all be
Yep.
adults here? Like,
Put
what
on a big show.
happened?
They want to put on a big show, and they think that they're going to look all great, but I don't let them leave looking great. I don't just put on
No, no.
that
A
show.
little bit of shit on their face. Let them get in the mud first.
Yeah, I'm gonna let them know that we don't do that. I'm like, listen, this is America. Okay, we
Yeah,
don't do
this is
that here.
America. Just on Facebook, you just turn into that guy. Um,
you know.
when I asked you about the one word for the podcast, I mean, we've been talking about the word band. I think that's a great word, but did you have a different word in mind?
No, no, well, no, I didn't. I thought we were going with band. Um, band's a good word.
Band's a good word. I don't think I've done band
Yeah,
yet, and that fits your profile very well as a comedian.
band a lot. I just, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a Facebook comedian. I'm always in shit on Facebook, and yeah,
but it's
that's
always
my
funny.
that's my lived.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
think,
stuff that
yeah,
I'm
for real.
scared to post, I'll send to you. You'll just get random post from me because I'm like, please post this. Like I just want to see the reaction. I want to live vicariously. I'm not gonna post this.
People do that to me all the time. And sometimes I'll see one where I'm like, well, I can't post that one. Like it's
Yeah,
hilarious, but I can't post. But then like 6 hours later, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I can't stop thinking about it till I post it. I have to post it. I can't not post. I just
yeah.
I'm gonna be I'm gonna want to post it forever if I don't post it. So
Oh, that's
so
so
yeah, I
funny.
will. Yeah, people do send me things that they want me to that they're too scared to post, or they send me messages about like posts that they're too scared to like. That's sad when people do that. They're like, I thought that was really funny, but I didn't want to like it. But I just wanted to tell you that I agree with that kind of a thing.
It's so
So,
crazy. It's like it's the virtual world. It doesn't actually have that much impact on like who a person is when you're face to face with that person. Do you
oh,
know?
exactly.
Like people take this shit way too seriously.
You get really seriously. They
But I
take it
won't
really
post
seriously.
it. I still won't post it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think the posting it is like it for a lot of people the hesitation or the line is it like it's they don't want the accountability, speaking personally too.
right.
I don't want the responsibility of carrying the weight of this joke and what its impact might be on some fragile souls.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, I was doing comedy for like almost probably a year before I changed my last name. There's a stage name or whatever. And I did that because people from Facebook had reported me to CAS for jokes that I made about my kids.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and the Board of Funeral Services called me once. They were mad that they'd heard about something that I'd said on stage that sounded disrespectful or something. So people are right to be scared to post stuff. Like
Yeah.
I was gonna either have to quit comedy or I went with the name change. But
So
yeah, for
what are you
regular
going by now?
oh, Jennie Frederick is
Jennie
Frederick
Frederick.
is
Okay, okay.
Frederick
I'll
on
block
yeah.
out the Zoom name in the bottom corner.
Oh yeah. I don't really care. Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna call CAS. Yeah, it's not a huge secret.
Yeah, it is
But
it is
yeah,
technically a dangerous time to do comedy again in that sense where like people have they do have that immediate like ability to enact recourse if they don't like something that you say. They can report your post or they can like what happened to you, call CAS, call your job like
yeah,
it's fucked.
yeah. Yeah, that's fucked. So, it's one thing if you're Dave Chappelle and you can take it.
Yeah,
You can
he's got
take
a
it. You can take
team
the heat.
feeding calls all day, probably.
Exactly. But if you need that funeral home job, or you would don't want to lose your kids. Sometimes you want to lose your kids, but most
Sometimes you're like, get ready, kids. I'm going to speak dangerously tonight. I got nothing to lose. So, like, hey.
I'm out there just gambling on them every night,
Uh,
drag away. But yeah, it is kind of a dangerous time to do comedy. People do get really upset. People just get really upset these days. I think I don't know. Maybe I'm old. I noticed it around 2013, just a vibe shift. Around
mhm.
2013, 2014, just people just started getting, you know, about 75% more upset than they used to get about everything. And yeah, everybody's real worked up. And I think social media makes us crazy.
Yeah, I think that's around the time when Instagram and Facebook and Twitter were really kind of going. It
I
was
think
starting to
so.
become more of a network addiction that people would be on all the time. Like I remember in college, I made like a Facebook like meme page that was just specifically about the college, and
Mhm.
it blew up so fast because like there was nothing else on Facebook, and this was like a
Right.
form of entertainment. Here's some little comedy memes about like your local college. um
Hmm.
but even that, like I did it all anonymously because I would have people getting angry over like stupid memes that I was posting in this Facebook group. And I'm like, come on. Like, what the fuck?
People get so angry. People get so angry. There was one. What was it? It was something about. It was a meme. It was making fun of liberal women. It was like liberal women actually meeting like an illegal immigrant in real life, and it was like she was terrified or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't what I was expecting anybody to get mad at, but somebody just has to make a big speech in the comments and stuff. It's like, well, how dare you? And what have you ever done? And you think you're better than everyone else? What the hell? You know?
Yeah, like you're jumping to a lot of conclusions there.
Yeah, just really knows who I am because of this meme, but like,
Yeah, yeah,
like deep inside or something. And it's like, I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of a dangerous time to do comedy, but it's also a good thing, right? Danger's good.
yeah, because it makes you want to be. I don't know about you, but like I've always had a bit of an issue with like authority. Like if somebody tells me to do something, I want to do the opposite. Like immediately. That's my immediate reaction. Like even
Yeah,
for me to quit smoking, like I had to be the one that was like, oh, this is getting like too much. I gotta quit this. Like this sucks.
yeah,
And then I was able
yeah.
to
No,
do it. But if somebody told
yeah.
me you should quit smoking, it's bad for you. I'm like, I'll smoke a pack right now. Like I'll just chain smoke it. I'll smoke three at a time just to
Yeah,
show you how wrong you are.
I'm the
So
same way. That's why I'm all radicalized. But that's
yeah, it is easy to radicalize people that hate authority.
yeah. Well, when I first started comedy, and I would make a little joke, and somebody start yelling at me like, "That is not my opinion," and or something like that, and I would back down. I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was trying to you
Uh-huh.
know, but I think it was about halfway through COVID. I was like, "Well, fuck these people, fuck all these people." You can't impress them. They don't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah. We're doing it in a park. Like
The park, the park show. Yeah, well,
I
that's
never
one.
did the park shows. I was like, I did one. One.
I only did the park show because somebody sent out a big email saying park show is dangerous and you can't work with this guy because he's problematic. And if you do his show, I won't book you and other people won't book you. And I was like, oh, I'm doing this show.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
as
yeah.
soon as I saw that, I've never called and asked to be on a show before or since, but I was like, may I do this show, please?
You're like, I found his phone number, called him.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, awesome. What you're describing sounds awesome, and I want to be part of that because fuck you. But
Yeah.
and it was a great. It was it was a great show. It was a fun show. Yeah, the park was good. And then the COVID rules changed like the next week, and then everybody was having park shows. At the time of the original park show, we weren't supposed to. We were supposed to be staying inside and not.
Mm-hmm.
This is when cops were arresting people alone on a beach in the middle of the,
Fucking
paddleboarding
insane.
and stuff in the middle of the
In
ocean.
in
Like
California, they were filling in the skate parks with sand.
yeah, that
Like
was like
what?
I remember at that point being all sort of like, do they know do we know, does anybody know what they're doing here? Because yeah, that was an odd time. That did feel like the end of the world. I didn't believe them. At first, I was like, they're not really going to close everything down for 2 weeks.
Yeah, no.
Impossible. I
I
really,
remember being at Ben Bankus he was hosting a show at Old School, and my cat just jumped up behind me. And it was like I had heard about it in I knew it was spreading in Asia, and that was like all we had heard about it. I had seen it kind of like on the news a little bit, like, oh, new virus, COVID-19, like kills
yeah,
like 10 people or something in Asia. And I remember I like had a joke about it and was like so flippant, like that's fucking crazy. Like maybe you like shouldn't yeah. Oh, no, I remember what it was. I said I'm not scared of COVID because I already had yellow fever. And I was just like, just trying to, just trying to make light of it. And then boom, like a week later, like the NBA's like, we're closing down all games. And I was like, oh fuck. Okay.
yeah, yeah. It got really serious. Yeah, I remember when they really, really shut down. There'd be one person that would be like, "Well, what if I just had a mic with just like 10 people in my backyard?" And it was like, "Fuck you! You're killing people! You're killing people!" And you're just like, "You always were an old bitch. I've always hated you." And I was like, "Oh, this is
Uh,
gonna suck."
Jenny,
Just on an interpersonal
my
level.
neighbor every day would go outside and bang her pots and pans for the nurses. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like this is mental illness. This is insane. And it went
Yeah,
on for way too long. Like
yeah,
they get
yeah.
it. They get
I
it. You
know.
appreciate them. You don't need
I
to disturb all of your neighbors for a
know,
year.
of course. Yeah, yeah, it's like, for the, what do they call them again? The necessary workers, or the, what do
The
they call them?
heroes, I don't know. Essential workers. Yeah.
Essential workers.
When we got divided into essential and non-essential.
That was a little dystopian too, but yeah, and then it became like everybody please pray for the essential workers out
Yeah. Wait, I
there.
thought we were
Protect.
against religion.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, we have, yeah, we're against religion. We make up our own quite a bit, I've noticed. So yeah, that was one of those times. Um, did you hear about Howard Stern?
Oh yeah, he finally got COVID after being an absolute nut job about it for 4 years.
He's been an insane COVID zealot.
Which blows my mind because he was the guy that was like doing the dirtiest, craziest stuff for so long that people have just magically forgotten about. Like I don't know who he paid off to not have any of his past videos or audio dug up, but like Howard
Oh
Stern show
yeah,
was wild.
yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. Uh, like, okay, he's a big lefty guy. The left were the edgy ones. They were the Howard
Sure.
Stern, George Carlin, and the all of them, all of them.
Sure.
It
Yeah.
was like, and it just switched at some point to more of a, I don't know. You can't say that sort of thing, but Howard Stern, yeah, I don't know. He's got all his blackface videos and stuff, and he just and I did look up. There is a connection between liberal people and germophobia. There being, especially
Like
scared of
more
disease.
people on average with germophobia tend to vote that way. Like, oh,
Yeah. If they took the political compass thing, they'd be really far to the left. And yeah, and it's all different personality types, right? The far right guys, they get more paranoid kind of type, and it's
sure.
it's it's good personalities. But and that's the kind of guy he is. And he was in an actual underground bunker. He wouldn't let his wife leave. I remember being concerned for her. It sounded like, because at this point it's like, late 2022, and he's like, no, you can't go out and see your friends. I don't care if it's outside. I don't care where it is. Like, no, you
Oh
can't
my
leave. You're gonna
God.
kept saying, I know that if I get it, I'll die. I know that if I get it, I'll die. And yeah, and he wished death on all of the anti-vaxxers or the unvaccinated, and he wanted, hospitals to be turning people away.
Oh
If you're
yeah, yeah.
unvaccinated,
They're like, if you're unvaccinated and you get COVID, you should be turned away. Just yeah, go home and die. Like that's an
yeah,
insane thing to wish upon anyone.
those are the
Like,
empathy people. Those were the compassion people, the empathy people, the people that talk about empathy all the time. Those were the
yeah.
people that yeah, and that was his. Yeah, it got pretty vicious. I remember seeing a video where they were asking little kids what should happen to the unvaccinated. And the little kids were like, lock them out of their house, take away their money, like just just turn the heat up till they can't take it anymore, and they beg
Yeah,
for the vaccine.
Jesus.
Sort of
What
like,
kind of what
whoa,
kind of conversations are you having at the dinner table?
exactly, or on your virtual learning
How about
devices.
have compassion? You know,
No,
ask
that
them
that
why.
yeah, it really wasn't the we're all in this together that
No.
people were looking for. There was no post 9/11.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We all were hoping for that. Like, oh, this is gonna be the thing that brings the world together. We're gonna heal.
No,
The lakes
no,
were getting cleaner and like the air was, being unsmogged. It's like, wow, we're really doing a reset here, guys. This is great.
yeah,
Then let the
absolutely,
fighting commence.
exactly. Yeah, no, it was everybody started hating each other more. And COVID, I don't know, it went on for so long. Like I said, I didn't think that they could really close things for 2 weeks. You
Yeah.
know, it was 2 years. It was pretty much 2 years. My kids were home for almost 2 years. I didn't like that um at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, it got pretty nuts.
Oh man. Well, Jenny, there's a question that I always ask my guests towards the end of the podcast as well. And if you could make a phone call to the 15-year-old version of yourself, I really want you to put yourself into who you were at 15, what you were doing, what your mindset was, and you get a phone call from you now. What piece of advice do you give? What do you say? And it won't affect your timeline, so no lottery numbers or
No,
that investing in Bitcoin advice.
I have too many regrets to choose from.
Perfect. This is a good question then.
Do everything different. Everything that you're gonna do, don't do that. Everything that feels like the right thing to do, don't do that. I don't know. I don't want to go back in time and erase my kids, but I don't want to marry him again either. That's rough. you know. Um, yeah, but I do wish I started stand up earlier. I do. That would have been probably the biggest thing. That would have been a lot more fun.
Just having that earlier time to build a set or really like find your voice earlier in stage. Do you think it would have been like more of a therapeutic thing for you to do over those years?
Yeah, it would have been therapeutic for me. It would have, and yeah, and I would just be, I think that I could have gotten further and done more with it and made more money at it and had, traveled around more. Um, that'd be cool. I can still do stuff,
Yeah, who knows?
but
Maybe this podcast blows up, goes viral, and then suddenly Live
yeah,
Nation's calling you and trying to put together the band tour,
maybe,
getting the
yeah,
band back together. It's just a
yeah,
bunch of band comedians.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes, I am persecuted. That's true about me. I am
Yeah.
just relentlessly persecuted.
You're
Um,
like Jesus.
yeah, I'm always in check. Yeah, start for dinner. Don't do so many drugs. Just the regular stuff.
Standard. Yeah.
The standard. Yeah, yeah. Don't be such a dummy. You know that sort of a thing.
All right.
But yeah.
For people to follow you, do you want them to check out your Facebook? Do you not want them to check out your Facebook? Where do you want them to?
I don't have much else go. I should get an Instagram, I
Yeah,
guess.
you should
I
really.
don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Instagram for sure.
But yeah, I'm Jennie Frederick with an IE. I'm on Facebook. Yeah, people can try and find me.
That's
There
the
it is.
spelling. If anyone's just look for the Dahmer uh,
Right.
cover art,
See, so
and you'll know you're in the right place.
yeah, yeah. I do like my murders. I love
It's a real
that.
trend right now.
It's such a. It's I don't know. I don't know. Do you like true crime?
I
Men like true crime.
do, I do, but I'm
It's a.
like,
Oh, why?
it's a weird thing that like so many women really like it.
Yeah, and I never knew that. I was always interested in it, even before it was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But it wasn't until recently, actually, that I noticed it because I started talking about it on stage in every room I was in. It was like, does anybody watch those murder documentaries? It was always every woman's voice in the plays, like, woo. And I was like, oh, fucking sick. What is that? You know? Like,
You're
I
like
thought,
my people.
I didn't know this was something that men didn't care about at all and women really cared about.
Now
But
we're all about Roman history right now. That's
yeah, anything about Rome, I've heard about
anything
that.
about Rome. Yeah, yeah. That's our thing right now.
But yeah, yeah. So yeah, the murders are very fascinating.
Yeah. Well, Jenny, thanks so much for making the time to hang out and be on the Johnny Rogers show. I'll send this link over to you like whenever I get it up. I'm not sure when exactly it'll come out, but I'll make a post.
All right. Thanks for having me. And
Yeah.
it's all right. I know how to use my computer. But
Hey, it all worked out. I think we got a good episode in the bank here.
okay, cool.
All right, have a good rest of your night.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to The Johnny Rogers Show. New episodes air every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.